Good morning, good morning, good morning. Scott Groves, Consolidated Coaching. This is our daily lead generation call. I'm actually in my house because I'm running late today. I've got a boxing match this Saturday, so I'm getting in extra workouts in the morning to get ready for that. So you'll probably be seeing me around the house or in the car a lot this week. And what we wanted to do this week is keep pulling at that string. Keep pulling at that string of the training call that we did, I think it's now 2 weeks ago with Liam. Please, 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 if you have not watched that call with Liam, go back and watch the call with Liam. Yes, he talked a little bit about how to make better videos, but what he really did was he talked about this book called Building a Story Brand, which I'm re-listening to now. And it's all about, we talked about for the last 2 weeks, how do you elevate the client to the status of hero instead of us being the hero and make yourself just the guide. Now, I did it because I was really thinking deeply about this weekend as I was re-listening to the book and kind of commuting all around town is it's very scary for loan officers in this time where it's getting more and more competitive. There's more and more online sources. There's more and more advertisements by Rocket Mortgage and Cash Call and everybody else. I get why it's very scary to not naturally puff up your chest and make you the hero, right? Because if you're not validating your worth, if you're not constantly talking about yourself as the hero, well, then what value do you have above and beyond whoever the new low rate king of the day is, right? Sometimes it's B of A, sometimes it's Citibank, sometimes it's Chase, sometimes it's Rocket Mortgage, sometimes it's your local broker, sometimes it's a mortgage bank that's trying to stay afloat, and so they just cut rates to generate fee revenue. You know, there will always be somebody out there with a lower rate. That's the thing that kind of cracks me up is that a lot of this infighting that's going on social media, like there will come a time a few years in the future where some other channel has the best rates. And so I get the insecurity there. I fall prey to it. My partners feel prey to it. Our office falls prey to it. All of us has done it, where we have to elevate ourselves to the hero in the way that we talk to people, in the way that we design our workflow, and the way that we do our follow-up. Because in our mind, whether it's our conscious or our subconscious, if we're not the hero, then why would somebody go with us over Quicken, right? Because if we don't elevate ourselves to the mastermind, to the hero, to the God complex, to being able to solve all the problems, well, then we might be feeling, again, consciously or subconsciously, what value do I add? And why wouldn't the client go with whoever the lowest rate is, right? So I don't know if any of you have ever thought through this before, or this is kind of a new heartstring I'm tugging at, but I'd love to hear in the chat box, is this something that you think is relevant? Do you think us as loan officers, especially when we're interacting with realtors and clients, try to elevate ourselves to that hero position instead of the guide position? Because, you know, let's be honest, we're a little bit fearful of losing the deal if we don't present ourselves as, you know, the holder of knowledge or the person that can solve all the problems. So I get why it's hard. I totally get why it's hard. However, I think the real growth and I think the real explosive growth in our business is going to come when we can check our ego at the door. We can let our actions and our workflow and our follow-up and our systems speak for us about how we run our business and how intelligently we are and how quickly we solve problems. And our wording should present ourselves as the guide. Our wording should present ourselves as the guide and present the client as the hero. And thinking back to some of the coaching calls we've done, I think about my friend Christy Solar out in New Orleans, does several hundred deals a year with 2, maybe 3 assistants, did over 100 transactions the very first year she was in the business. And I think part of it, you know, I always joke with her that she has this real maternal energy. She's got this Southern belle, ah, shucks, I'm here for you. She naturally takes the guide role or the maternal role or the Yoda role or the mom role, however you want to conceptualize it. And she never elevates her needs or her knowledge or her process above what the client needs. So all the way back to the very first introduction, and I used to call it maternal energy, but now I'm understanding from, again, rereading this book, Building a Story Brand, and listening to Liam's talk a couple weeks ago, what I'm realizing now is she presents herself as the guide. And how she does that in the very first interaction, I went back and watched the coaching call with her this last weekend. How she does that is she says from the very beginning, when a client texts her or emails her or gets looped in with the realtor, she says, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I really want to make sure I'm present for you so I get all the information about your finances and the house that you want to buy. I'm here to help. let's schedule a time so we can both be present for about half an hour, and I can answer all your questions. We can get you on the path to get into a home, and we can make sure that you're set up for success. And she'll say all of that in a text message or an email or a call. Now, the genius part of it, what she's really doing is she's setting up the client to talk to her and take the application on her time frame, because what she does is she finds a way to schedule all those people between like 11 and 2 o'clock so that she's not being reactive all day, every day. It's just every day she has her application windows, and she knocks them out in about half-hour increments from about 11 to 2 o'clock, usually eats lunch at her desk. So she's taking, 6 applications a day, 30 a week. That's 120 a month. She's closing about 30 or 40 deals a month. Yeah, that makes sense. That's right where the math I would expect it to be. But if you see the subtle nuance, what she does naturally is she elevates the client to the hero status. Like, we're here for you. It's all about the house that you want. It's all about going over your financial situation. I'm just the lowly loan officer guide who's here to help you put all this together. Let's make sure that I can be present for you, and make sure that I can be there to do stuff for you, and make sure that I'm there on what the client thinks is their time frame, but it's really her time frame, to make sure that I get all of the right information and really take care of you, because this situation and this process is all about you. And trust me, I am the person that this thought process does not come naturally to. Like, I want it to be about me and my conveyor belt and how smart I am and how I have the smartest partner in the business in Justin, and how we can get the tough deals done and how we can do this. Well, when you act like that and when you run your business that way, what ends up happening is your business just drifts more and more and more and more towards getting the tougher deals. However, then you're just stuck with the tougher deals all the time. However, I believe if we set this up appropriately, when we take the time, when we take the energy, when we're present, when we use the right language, when we use the right messaging out to our realtors, to our clients, and we let them know that they're the hero, not us, they're the hero, then I think we can make huge, huge leaps and bounds in our business. Didn't finish that sentence. So that's what I got for you today. Again, we're going to tug a little bit more at this string of how do we make ourselves the guide and the client the hero. But just think about that today, and then we'll build on it tomorrow. Right there at the introduction stage, your first text message back, your first email back, how can you make this process, how can you make your messaging and your verbiage more about them and less about us? So today, in addition to doing your hour of lead generation, however long it takes you to get through your 10 contacts, I want you to also spend, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, going back and looking at that first email template you send clients, looking at that first kind of interaction you have. If you have saved text messages on your phone, whatever they are, go back and look at them and make sure you're making it all about the client and why they're the hero of the transaction, and they're the hero of getting into their house, and they're the hero of obtaining the American dream of home ownership, and they're the hero of buying a house after, foreclosing on a place 7 years ago and never thinking they'd get into a house again. Go back today, spend some time looking at that messaging, and make sure you're making the client the hero. That's what I got for you today. I think we'll be listening to a lot of Smashing Pumpkins, Nirvana, and Stone Temple Pilots this weekend. So if you've got any requests for this week going into the music video segment, shoot me an email, Scott@Consolidate Coaching. If you don't know how to get on Coach Accountable and watch any of the past coachings, Mike@Consolidated Coaching. We are here to help. Love you all, and we'll see you every Monday at 8:30 Pacific time. God, I can't speak today. I need some more iced tea. All right, love you all. Talk soon. Bye.